I'm gonna go ahead and get started. And so I want to welcome everyone to this is the day one of the Body Remembers Healing Sexual Trauma series. And on the next 3 days, my team and I, we're going to be sharing some information, some insight, support, tools, techniques, and things that women can use on healing from sexual trauma. And this is to also lead up to the Healing Sexual Trauma Retreat in October the 15th through the 18th. And we're going to chat about that a little bit later. And the reason why we wanted to do this and offer this experience in April is because April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And so, what this month is for, to acknowledge and give attention to advocates, survivors, loved ones, community, for people to come together and to openly talk about sexual trauma and to experience, knowledge, awareness, and to identify like some strategies, some resources on how to prevent sexual violence and sexual trauma and how to heal from it too as well. We do want to indicate, and I definitely want to indicate today too, that I am not a therapist, I'm not a counselor, I am not a psychiatrist, a psychologist, but what I am is a survivor. And I do want to share that in my years of healing this for myself, grassroots, going through the process of healing it, I want to share one of the reasons why I want to offer Healing Sexual Trauma Retreat, as well as this pre-guidance that we want to give over these next 3 days. And the way this was birthed out of me is that I am an emotion code practitioner. I've been doing it for 14 years and a transformational life coach. And I noticed in the early parts of me doing this work as an emotion code practitioner, I would have women come to me for so many different things, health reasons, just stress and how to manage stress and issues in families and all kind of reasons. But when I would start to work with them, many of the women, it will boil down to something that they didn't bring up or share. And many had experienced sexual trauma at some point within their life, particularly most of them in childhood. And I remember one day pacing my office, like I felt like I was in a twilight zone. I felt like this can't be real that this many women are experiencing sexual trauma. I have to do something. I have to do something. And that is where the ideal of Healing Sexual Trauma Retreat came from for me and playing and being a host in that. And I hosted one back in, excuse me, 2022. And so this next one is going to be in 2026. And my goal, my hope, my prayer, my plan is to do this on an annual basis. And today, what I want to cover today is about trauma and how trauma can get trapped within the physical body. Our body is designed to process and to release emotions. Emotions is energy in motion, and we experience trauma, we experience difficult things, and we experience strong emotions around things that happen to us within our life. Our body can feel it because it's happening to the body and we are experiencing it, and the body needs to move that energy through because our body does a lot 24/7 nonstop. There is a major, massive system that is happening on the inside of us that is running nonstop. And when we experience strong emotions and trauma within the body needs to move that energy through so it can continue to do the things that it needs to do to survive. And so when we don't process these difficult, traumatic emotional experiences, the energy of the emotions get trapped within the muscles, the tissues, the organs, the systems of the body, and it does not disappear. Even though sometimes we can spend years of suppressing, years of even going numb and not even feeling or being aware of the trauma, we can go numb to it. But what it's doing is creating patterns that are running within the system that is automatically running within us. And I'm going to share with you some ways of how that happens and how trauma gets stored into the body. And so, one of the ways that it gets trapped and can get trapped is in the muscles. It can cause like chronic tension, tightness in the hips, shoulders, jaw. It's like the body bracing for protection. And I want to share some personal things with you just to give you an example of how this can work. So, as it relates to how it can get trapped within the muscles of the body, I, 4 years ago, started to experience some major pain within my shoulder. It ended up spreading down to my arm. And what many of us do, and I know better, and we all know better, I waited for quite some time and I dealt with the pain. I didn't know what it was. I just let it continue until it hurt so bad that it started to affect how I functioned. So I finally went in to see a cranial sacral massage therapist. And within 3 sessions, she was able to take this energy that was trapped within my nervous system and pull it and draw that energy out through my arm. And as she was doing that in the third session, I realized how that tension got there. And it was due to an incident that happened it had to be like 14 or 15 years ago when I was in an abusive relationship with my ex and trauma that happened within that moment. And 15 years later, that energy was in my arm. I have not experienced that pain for 4 years. And when I began working on this retreat about 2 months ago, preparing for it, that pain came back. And one of the things I want to share and use that even further within the example is that when we are going through healing from trauma, things like sexual trauma, the healing can happen in stages. It's not like this one and done thing that we go through. It can happen in stages. And I had an amazing experience yesterday as I was journaling. And I want to let you all know that tomorrow, if you're not even able to join today and you join in tomorrow, these recordings will be available for you to see all 3 days. But tomorrow we're going to have a fascinating conversation with Anitra Parker, and she has amazing experience of healing through journaling. And so I was sharing with her yesterday this pain I'm feeling in my shoulder. It was radiating yesterday, and I've done all the things. And I don't typically journal, but I journaled last night, and something fascinating thing came up to me that I never pinpointed. And so join us tomorrow or join on watch the next video so that you can hear how journaling can help move energy through as it can get trapped within the muscles of the body. And I experienced some great release through that. Also, when it gets trapped within the body and gets trapped within the muscles, can become like an armor of protection. And so sometimes we can feel like, and I know many of us have experienced this, where we can experience that we are tense. And I can be sitting, or you could be sitting watching a movie, reading a book, and you can feel the tense. And you go like, wow, I feel really tense. Relax. And your body can relax. And you didn't even know you were that tense. You can tell your body relax even more. And your body can relax even more. And that is this armor that we can be carrying around even when there isn't a stress, even when there isn't a threat, even when the trauma isn't there and present. Another place that trauma can get trapped within the body is within our fascia and within our lymphatic system. And these things are interconnected and very closely interconnected. So our fascia is right underneath the skin. If you cook chicken and you pull the skin of the chicken up and you see the little white between the skin and the meat, that is the fascia, and we have that same thing as well. It's the connective tissue, and this connective tissue is directly connected with our nervous system. And so, our thoughts, our emotions, how we feel, the regulation of our nervous system, it sends information to the body through the fascia. And so when we are congested with trauma, when we are congested with these emotions that have not been felt and moved through and processed and understood and heard and truly felt, then that energy is continuing to play underneath, communicating through our lymphatic system, communicating to our body, to the muscles, and to all the layers within, down into the organs and the systems of the body. And so our lymphatic system is the storage system of the body. This is our sewage system of the body. And so when we have all of these negative thoughts, negative emotions, trauma, fear, anxiety, anger, rage, all these things that can be contributed or as a result to sexual trauma, especially shame, especially guilt, especially regret, all of these emotions, it can be playing a story, a energy between the fascia, the lymphatic system, and the organs of the body. And this is why when we can have sessions somewhat like cranial sacral, as I did, as I shared earlier, and I had that cranial sacral, that's trauma that was stored there. Before I knew where it was coming from, my body just cried. I cried and didn't know why I was crying. And this is why when we get energy trapped within the fascia and the lymphatic system, and then we get that energy to move, then our body is able to release the emotion, the cry, the yell, the scream that is suppressed within that energy, suppressed within that area of the body or that system of the body. And that is something I experienced within my cranial sacral sessions, is that I would cry and I had no conscious understanding of why I was crying, but I allowed it to myself to experience that. And so when this system gets stuck, it's sluggish. We feel emotionally heavy. We feel fatigued. We can feel really sore in the muscles. We can experience swelling and inflammation because that fluid is not flowing through. And when we experience that, a lot of times we want to jump to the doctor. We want to figure out, what needs to happen, what supplement, what drug I need to take because I'm tense. I am, I feel sluggish. I don't have energy. And sometimes that can be directly related to the trauma that we can be holding within our body and that's trapped within our fascia and our lymphatic system. The third area that can be impacted when we have trauma that remains trapped within the body is going to be our nervous system. Our nervous system can keep us stuck in fight, flight, freeze, or fawning too, as well, that it can get trapped within the body. And I just want to share an example of once I remarried, when I got out of that traumatic, abusive relationship for 14 years, and I remarried. I did my healing work, you all. It took me a good 4 years, but I worked through and did a lot of healing, and I was able to draw and attract an amazing man in my life. And we've been married for 10 years now, been together for 10 years. However, for years, no matter how kind, no matter how gentle, no matter how understanding, no matter how wise, no matter how amazing my husband is, even within our home for years, just walking around the corner, if he was there and I didn't hear him, I would jump or sometimes I would freeze because my nervous system, even though he has created this amazing, beautiful home and this safety, my nervous system was still stuck in freeze and in fight. I wouldn't say fight. I was stuck in freeze mode. And so I would freeze when he would come around the corner and I could feel energy within my body. After a while, this got on my husband's nerves because he was like, I'm just being myself walking through my house. Why are you jumping? Why are you startled? And it's because my nervous system was stuck. My nervous system was stuck in survival mode, even in a place of safety, even in this space. And so I had to do the work around that to clear, to reset my nervous system, to regulate it to the place of safety that had been created for me. Okay. So when trauma goes unprocessed, our body adapts to it. It stores it and it can become our baseline. So that's why sometimes we can have trauma trapped in us for years, an extended period of times, and it becomes our baseline. And we cannot even be aware that, oh, I need to do that work. I need to heal that thing. Oh, it hasn't gone away because we get used to the baseline. But I believe that that is really being stirred up for many people. That the baseline is flooding over now, and so it's not becoming okay with people to just settle in and continue to allow this trauma because it's spewing out in other ways. It's spewing out in our relationships. It's spewing out in the way that we're struggling to get our desires to come into our life because that thing needs to be healed. Okay. So one of the things, the next thing I want to do is I want to take this into the energy systems or the chakras of the body. This is something that we're going to cover in detail at the Healing from Sexual Trauma Retreat. because the information that I'm giving you today is not enough. We really need to go to the body and to heal the body, to acknowledge the body, to feel the body, to move the body, to adjust the body so that the body can clear this energy from the body itself. When we experience sexual trauma, it happens to the body. Yet, when we go to counseling, when we go to therapy, which I am totally for and believe we need it, it is beneficial. When we go to counseling, a huge part of it is addressing the upper chakras, it's addressing the state of the heart, the state of the experience that we had. It's giving us a voice to speak what it is that we've experienced. It's giving us an opportunity to express it and to get it out and to express whatever the emotions, the guilt, the shame, the rage, the anger, all of those things can come out. It's giving us the ability to see things from a different perspective. It's giving us the ability to tap into and receive support from our divine source. We are addressing the upper chakras and energy systems when we go to counseling and through counseling, and it's highly beneficial and necessary. However, we don't want to forget the physical body. The physical body itself is where the trauma happened and what the trauma happened to. And so, in this retreat that's coming up in October, that's where we're going to direct our attention. We're going to direct our attention to what has happened to the physical body, and we are going to give it the space. We're going to give it the attention. We are going to witness what has happened within the physical body, and we're going to give it the space to clear that energy and release. And so I'm going to give snippets of how we can identify where this trapped energy can be within our chakras and within our energy systems. And at the retreat, we're going to actually go through practical things to clear it. And so the first attention I want to give to, let me check my time. Okay. Oh, I'm good in time. The first attention I want to give to is to the root chakra. And first, let me explain what our chakras or our energy systems are. These energy systems and chakras is it's kind of described as a wheel that turns within our body. Our energy systems, we focus a lot on the seven. We have many energy systems and chakras within our body and within our auric field. However, I'm just going to give attention to the lower chakra systems. And what our chakras do is really help to keep our spirit, our soul connected to the physical body. And it is connected through our breath. Through our breath is how these wheels continue to turn and how they continue to generate within the body through our breath, through our energy, life force energy and breath that flows through the body. And so these energy systems are formed within the body. The first one we're going to talk about is the root. It is formed in our first year of life, the sacral, our second year, the solar plexus, our third year, our heart chakra, our fourth year, our throat chakra, our fifth year, our brow, our sixth year, our crown, our seventh year, our star, our eighth year. And this is why our childhood is so very important. Is because the foundation of who we are is created and developed based off of our environment, based off of what we come into here to our and in here with our ancestral lineage, with our blood, with our DNA, with our coding. All of that comes into play in the creation of who we are. And that is formed, a huge part of that is formed between the ages of 1 and 8. We are kind of stapled in at that age. Now, that does not take away the responsibility that we have as we get older to heal the body and to heal the self. Some people will think that, these things happen as a child and we can get caught into the blame game and all of that. But when we are really, really ready to heal, we then respond through being responsible for ourselves and where we are. Even if things happen to us within childhood, as an adult, we want to take responsibility of then healing the self. But our childhood plays a huge role. And that is why inner childhood work is so very important. Reparenting the self is so very important so that we can really get down into the core of who we are and to heal some of those wounds that we've had within childhood. Okay. And so I want to start with the root chakra. The root chakra is based right at the bottom of our spine. And this is developed within the first years of life. This is where our sense of safety, our sense of security, our sense of stability, our ability to trust our environment, because when we're one, we can basically do nothing. And we are totally dependent on everyone around us and everything around us to support. And so when we experience sexual trauma, this is when the body no longer feels safe. When we experience sexual trauma and the root is impacted, the body no longer feels safe. We no longer feel safe within our body. We no longer feel safe around people, even people that we love. And one of the reasons why we're hosting this retreat in October is because October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And there is a huge percentage of women who experience, or men who experience sexual trauma, and it is by someone that they know, is by someone within their family. And so we're kind of tying together Sexual Trauma Awareness Month, which is this month, and then we're going to take it all the way to October, Domestic Violence Awareness Month in October, and that's when we're going to have the retreat once again. And so we no longer feel safe in our body when our root chakra has is out of balance. And I want to give you some things to look at, things to consider for you to know when your root is out of balance, okay? And if you come to the retreat, at the retreat, we're going to teach you techniques where you can know whether or not your energy systems or which one of your chakras are out of balance. Right now, we're just going to do it through a state of awareness, but we're going to teach you some techniques that you can use to test and engage with each one of your energy systems to know whether or not it is in balance or out of balance. But for the sake of today, I just want you to think about your root. And if it is out of balance, you can feel things like on a regular basis, anxiety, hypervigilance. You can just really feel safe, like even when unsafe, rather, even when nothing is wrong. You can feel financial instability, difficulty relaxing in your body, disconnected with your body. Once again, a lot of tension in your shoulders, in your hips is where we can store a lot of our trauma. And so, if you experience these things on a regular basis, more than likely your root chakra is out of balance. And so, for right now, I want those who are listening right now, or you're going to watch this later, I want you to take a moment and I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to place your attention on your root chakra. And your root chakra is right at the end of your tailbone, right at your tailbone. And if you're in a position, you can reach back and just touch that end of the tailbone. Once you start doing more energetic work and awakening your energy systems and becoming more sensitive, you can start to put your attention on a particular part of your body and you can feel it heat up and warm up because you're learning how to reconnect with your body. And that's what we want to do and help you get to that point where you can reconnect with your body, tap into your body, feel your body, and your body responds because you feel safe within your body. So I want you to close your eyes and put your attention at your root chakra. And I want you to ask it a question. Just ask yourself a question with your attention there. And the question is, do I feel safe in my body? And just let that answer come up. Don't try to throw a bunch of words into it. Just let the answer come up. I want you to ask yourself, do you feel on edge a lot? Do I feel on edge most of the time? With your attention on your root, just ask that question. Whatever comes up. You can ask yourself, is it really hard for me to relax? And breathe in. And if any of those answers to that question, if any of that was yes, yes, I have difficulty, I'm going to be honest with you. I did that this morning and my roots is out of balance. It is out of balance. And I think what I am experiencing as I reflected on it, when I asked the question, do I feel safe in my body? Because of what I'm experiencing with my arm, my immediate answer, my root said no. And that surprised me because of the work I've been doing. And I want to go back to saying, you all, this healing journey, it literally is a journey. And I have had moments where I have felt like, damn it, when is this going when is this going to be over? When is this going to be over? And I'm going to be honest with you, when this arm thing came up for me again, when I started working on this retreat, I got angry and I started to shut down. I did. Ooh, let me breathe. Whew. I really got angry and I wanted to shut down because I believe I had done so much work. And for this to come up in my life again made me mad. So sorry. Woo! So even today, when I was meditating, asking myself this question, do I feel safe in my body? And my root said no. That made me mad. That made me feel like, oh my goodness, I still have more work to do. But as I sat with it more, what I also then was able to quickly bring in was gratitude. And that gratitude was, wow, I have the tools. I know that this is a journey. I got to continue to practice what I preach. I have to share this, and I have to, before I share this, I have to do this. I have to keep doing this for myself to heal these things and to allow them to release through the body. Ooh, I feel so much energy. Oh, this right here in this moment feels like a release for me. And this is actually something that came up in my journaling that I did last night and this morning. And it's just confirming and reaffirming that for me. So, ooh, thank you for the space to do that. I didn't expect to feel those things. It's so interesting. And I hope that it reflects to you how important it is to express and to feel and to allow and to be witnessed. Because whether there's anyone, I don't even know, because Anitra is here and watching as a host. I don't even know if anyone's chiming in, but I do know that this will be put on live and people can go and watch this. And I hope that in this moment that this is being a witness to you that there's still more work to do. And it's happening right now in me as one who is hosting and presenting. I'm still doing it. Okay. And so, whew, appreciate that. All right. So let's jump to the sacral. Our sacral energy system is located right where our belly button is and right where our pubic hairs begin. This is where all of our reproductive organs are. This right here is where our emotional center are is. A lot of times we think it's in the heart, and to a degree that it is, but our emotional center of the body, our sexuality, our connection, our sacral governs our emotions, our pleasure, our creativity. A lot of times we can think creativity happens within the mind, but it starts first within the sacral. This is where life is given. This is where creation is made within the sacral. This is our creative state of the body. And so when we experience sexual trauma and the sacral energy system is trapped or it is imbalanced, then we experience emotional suppression and overwhelm. We can be overwhelmed in our emotions. We can be over expressive in our emotions, or we can shut down too within our emotions too. We can experience, distorted intimacy, meaning we can sabotage our relationships. We can have emotional attachments to other people. I've been watching a lot of, my husband and I are really into some reality shows, y'all, and mostly the dating ones because it's fascinating. what people are experiencing. And I am amazed. I am absolutely amazed at some of these people within their 30s and their 40s. And they're saying, I'm really having a hard time being vulnerable. I want to be married. I'm ready for love, but I just can't be vulnerable right now. I can't open up. I feel emotionally shut down. And I want to scream, grow up. I want to scream to them, heal thyself. Because if you are trapped and you are stuck in that state of I can't be vulnerable, I'm afraid to show my emotions, and you're in your 30s and your 40s, and yet you're wanting intimacy, you're wanting love, you're wanting to share it, you're wanting to give it, then there is some stagnation and some imbalance in the sacral, and that needs to be healed. And when it is shut down, we can be numb, emotional shutdown, oversensitive. Emotions are flooding over. We have difficulty with intimacy, with trust. We experience a lot of shame with our sexuality. We can be people pleasing, over giving. And on a physical level, we can experience pelvic tension and reproductive issues too, as well. And that too is where fibroids come in. I can talk all day. Okay. Fibroids, you all, a huge part of it stems from not necessarily just sexual trauma that some of us may have experienced personally, but if we have sexual trauma within our lineage, fibroids plays a huge role in that happening, okay, within our life. And that's a whole nother topic. And one day we can go there, okay? And so we definitely want to move energy through that. And one of the places too where we can experience a lot of tension within our body when the sacral is stuck and stagnant within our hips. And a lot of times we don't even know that that hip pressure is there until we get into certain positions and certain movements. I remember going to this, it was a chakra balancing workshop. And I really thought I was going to learn, but it really was this immersive, really tapping into the chakra systems. And so this is one of the techniques that we're going to use at the retreat. And so you take a ball and you lay down, and it's a soft ball, but you are rubbing it up and down on the floor, up and down where your hips are, the tips of your hips. I never really experienced tension in that I known, but when I tell you the pain on a scale of 1 to 10, I was at a 6, knocking on 7, pain, just rolling on this soft ball. A cry came up from my soul, and I'm not exaggerating. It was a cry deep in my soul that came up, and I started crying uncontrollably. I could not be consoled. The tears that came. I was snotting everywhere, and I just had to stop, and I just had to lay down because it was too intense. My body couldn't even handle it. My mind was blown that I had that much tension in my hips. And so we can hold that pain within our body unbeknownst to us consciously, and that creates a lot of disruption within our body, our ability to create the desires that we have for our life, to take those higher ideas and to bring them into fruition, to create the things that we want to have in our lives. There can be a blockage. So I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to put your attention on your sacral. The sacral, once again, is right where your reproductive system is, right underneath your belly button. You can even imagine the color orange. Orange is a color that represents the sacral. You can bring that color in. You can place your hand there, your left hand there, which is your receptive hand. Place your hand there, and I want to ask you to ask yourself, do I feel disconnected from my emotions? Just ask yourself, do I feel disconnected from my emotions? Ask yourself, do I struggle with intimacy, vulnerability, or boundaries? Ask and allow your body to answer. Ask yourself the question, do I feel safe experiencing pleasure? Ask and answer. One of the things that when people struggle with experiencing pleasure, I remember and as I still am an emotion co-practitioner and transformational life coach, I have been amazed at some of the women who have shared some of their sexual frustrations and experiencing and hearing how many women have not experienced orgasms. They struggle with it. And even people with that have experienced sexual trauma and they have experienced sexual trauma, whether as a child or as an adult, and have felt some level of pleasure during the act of trauma, which sounds wild, but it's true. It happens because the body responds. That experience of feeling and experiencing pleasure during a moment of trauma can create so much trauma within the body itself. And that can directly impact our ability to experience pleasure. And now, what it can be a healthy or loving relationship that we can be in, and it can block us from experiencing the fullness of an orgasm and the fullness of that pleasure and full body sensation. And so, as you do this work, as a person does this work and heal, they can then heal and set their body free to receive pleasure into the body, not just through sexual pleasure, but just pleasure in life, period. Okay. So, let's talk now about the solar plexus. This is the last energy system. The solar plexus is right at our upper belly. And this is where our power, our sense of identity, how we see ourselves, our ability to control ourselves, our personal power, our confidence, our identity, our boundaries, this is where it is set right here. And when it is out of balance, as it relates to healing trauma, sexual trauma particularly, we have difficulty setting boundaries. We can let people run over us, or we can run over other people. Okay. We can also be stuck in people pleasing. We can lack self-worth, self-value. We can be perfectionists. We can be over controlling when we are stuck or stagnant or in balance within our solar plexus. We can have a fear of being seen, a fear of speaking up. We can have, on a physical level, digestive issues, gut issues, where our body has a difficult time breaking down our food and allowing our food to be processed throughout the body. That's how it can affect us on a physical level. And so this part is so important that we have a strong core, that on a physical level have that strong core, but also once again, this is where our sense of self-worth, our self-value, how we see ourselves and view ourselves. And if we've experienced sexual trauma because so much shame is related to it, so much guilt is related to it, so much sense of our lacking of self-worth, self-value, it can directly affect this part of the body. And one of the exercises, one of the physical things that we're going to be doing at the retreat is practicing planks and building up the core on a physical level. We're definitely going to do some work on each of these energy systems and clearing some of the emotional stagnation within these systems. But one of the physical things that we can start doing on a physical level to support it is doing planks. And it can be hard. Planks can be a little bit difficult, but we want to build and strengthen the core. So I want you all to close your eyes and we're going to ask some questions of our solar plexus. You can place your left hand right underneath the breast, right on the upper part of the stomach, and breathe into it. You can envision the color yellow because yellow is a color that represents the solar plexus. I want you to ask yourself this question. Do I struggle with saying no? You can ask yourself, do I feel like I've lost my voice? Take a breath in and ask yourself, do I overcompensate or do I shrink? And just breathe into that. Mm. You can tell right now my solar plexus is a little off, and but my root is really off. My solar plexus is off. And so I'm hoping that in your ability to pause and ask yourself these questions, that your body responded. And if it didn't, if you feel like I didn't feel anything, I didn't sense anything, I didn't hear anything, then that to you is a sign that it's important that you learn to connect with your body. And that is something we're going to go over in detail, not just through word, not just through awareness, but we're going to do techniques that is going to help you to really integrate back into your body. And that is why awareness just is not enough. We do need powerful tools and techniques that can help the body and support the body in clearing some of this energy from the body. And that's why we are hosting this retreat that is coming up in October. So today you receive knowledge on somatic releases, or let me say this rather, at the retreat, we're specifically going to do somatic releases, breathwork experiences. We're going to do emotional releases. We're going to do chakra clearing specifically. We're going to do elemental purification. We're going to do so many different things, safe communication where your stories can be witnessed by others. And so I do encourage you to check out the website. I'll just go to FeliciaGarrett.com into the retreats. But I do want to invite you to join in on tomorrow because whew, we're going to be talking to Anitra on journaling and the power of journaling. And I'll be honest, like I said earlier, I've known of journaling, the power of journaling, but I only do it when I am like fed up, when something has to move. But she's going to share the brilliance of doing it on a regular basis. And I can't even dive into it because it's definitely not my expertise. It's something I just dive into it in a state of desperation. But I really look forward to hearing from her of how to use this tool. And for me, not to use it from a place of desperation, but use it as an ongoing, long-term process for regulating and processing emotions. And so check out the website at FeliciaGarrett.com and just go to retreats. And just know too, for April and May, there is a early bird where you can get $200 off from the retreat itself, if you want to attend. So check that out. Now, I see that we have some questions. Anitra, can you come in if you're muted and just, I'm not good with multitasking. So if there were any questions in it, can you tell me what those questions are so I can respond to them if there are?
Hello. Thank you, Felicia. That was amazing. A lot of the feedback and comments in the chat have just been about how wonderful this is.
Oh,
We had one question about spelling out sacral, and I did that.
oh,
Um,
good, good, good.
and yes, Latoya, we will put the website and the email contact info in the chat. Yes, I will do that.
Mhm.
I do just want to start off the questions. If anyone else has a question, feel free. I want to say, first of all, thank you for doing this work. You
Mm.
know, we've talked about this,
Yes,
and I'm so excited because today is day one on
day
this
one.
part of the journey, and so I'm so happy. But I want to ask you, for the woman watching right now who
Mhm.
just recognized herself in everything that you said, what's the one thing you want her to do before she goes to sleep tonight?
Mm. I would say to have a moment before sleeping, laying in the bed, And I would rub the hands together. Really good. Our hands have receptors within all of our organs and systems are connected to the tips of our fingers and to our base in our hands. Rub them together, generating that energy in them, placing one hand over the heart and the upper stomach, and really just asking the body questions. The question can be, are you ready to heal? Am I ready to heal? Is this my opportunity to heal?
Mhm.
And start to communicate with the body and see what comes up. Because the body, listen, you all, the body is always in a state of wanting to heal itself. It is always wanting to function optimally, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Our body is always at a state of wanting to heal. However, some people mentally, emotionally might not be ready. And I'm going to be honest, this retreat is for people who are saying, my body said yes. I am ready to do the work. I want to have a new experience. I want my body to experience healing. I want to know what's on the other side of healing. This is retreat is for those who are ready to say yes. And why we created this series is because we want to help those who might be on the fence. Yes, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yes, no. But giving you this information, this can help you and prep you and prime you of making that decision of whether or not you're ready to go in and to do the work to support your body in releasing the trauma that it's been holding on to. I hope that was helpful.
Yes, thank you. And we have another question from Sister Tiffany, and she asked, can you please go over the beginning again for those who joined late about how trauma is stored in the body and how this affects us?
Yes. So our body works, it does so much on its own by itself that emotions, and when we experience trauma and emotions that are strong emotions, they are meant to move through the body because the body isn't created to hold on to all of this. Most of it's negative, low vibrational energy, trauma, shame, abandonment, rejection, all of these negative emotions that come along with trauma. So when we don't process them, when we don't seek to understand them, clear them, release them from the body, they can get trapped in the organs, muscles, tissues, and systems of the body. And one of the examples that I gave is how they can get trapped in the muscles, how it can get trapped in the fascia, the lymphatic system, how it can get trapped within our nervous system and create stagnation, not just on a physical level. That's when it gets really bad. That's when it's been going on way too long, hence shoulder. When it gets really bad, it starts to manifest within the physical body. However, it starts to show out and spew out of us through our attitude, through how we show up in the world. It comes out and it seeps out in how we navigate through our relationships, how we view ourselves, how we see ourselves. It starts there. And when we don't do the work, when we don't allow ourselves to process the trauma, release the trauma from the physical body, then it starts to manifest into the physical form. And when it starts to manifest into the physical form, I'm going to be a little bit honest with you all. It can take a lot more work to shift that energy because now what was once emotional, now what was once thoughts, now what was once the experience, now it is manifested into the physical body. And now it's going to take even more work to shift that energy once it manifests physically. I hope that makes sense.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. Thank you, Felicia, for sharing
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
We have another question about, I believe, Miss Shay, and you can unmute, dear, if you would like to. She was asking, can you share those questions again? And I think she's referring to the questions that we were asking of the sacral. Go ahead, Miss Shay.
The nighttime questions, when you rub your hands together, just, to in regards to are you ready to heal? What were those questions again that I need to be asking myself?
Uh-oh, Felicia, you hi.
Oh, I muted it because I thought I was getting some feedback. But yeah, I made them up. Their questions like, just rub your hands together, placing your left on your heart, placing your right on your belly, and just breathing in through the nose and breathing out. And you can just ask your body, are you ready to heal? Is it safe for me to heal right now? You can even imagine what would my life be like on the other side of healing? And if you can't generate a picture, then you most definitely need to heal. If you can't generate a picture or an idea of what your life can look like on the other side of healing, you most definitely need to heal. When I started my journey on healing this from my sexual trauma from my father, my abuse within my marriage, what prompted me to do the work is that I really wanted to be married. I believed in healthy, loving relationships. I've had that belief all my life and I wanted to be married. But I knew that I cannot have a healthy relationship at the state of consciousness that I was at. I just couldn't do it. So I started that what propelled me to say, okay, I'm ready for the work. And I could envision what was on the other side. What was on the other side was going to be a loving, healthy relationship for myself, for my children, laughter, joy, protection, love. And I wanted to experience that. So it compelled me and propelled me to do the work and to do it for myself because I couldn't practice, I couldn't share what I couldn't practice for myself. And that also compelled me to do the work. And I was just sick and tired of feeling the way I was feeling. Okay. So those are some questions to ask. Anybody else, Anitra?
Wonderful. Does anyone else have questions? Um, here is a, okay, this is more of a comment.
Mhm.
So, this is from Sister Danielle. She says she has a nonprofit organization that works with women who have experienced sex trafficking, trauma, and molestation. Their bags come heavy, and
Yeah.
we hold space for them. What is the first step that I must offer these women and girls that need to start their healing journey?
Anitra, go ahead and answer that question.
Mm, listen, acceptance, letting them know that they are loved and that they are accepted first
Mhm.
and foremost, and just acknowledging them. I'm I'm gonna be 1 minute. Listen, I am so excited about doing this work. I am so excited about doing this work. Felicia and I talked about this. We were going to cancel this today. I'm gonna tell it on us. We were gonna cancel. People are still logging in, Felicia. We were gonna cancel this today because we were just like, people just don't want to talk about this, and we were just weren't getting the feedback that we thought that we should be getting. And I said, you know what? I said, no, we're gonna do this because even though we're not seeing the feedback, we're not seeing the responses, there are still women that need to hear this. And we're gonna record this. And if only one woman hears this, and it only changed one life, that's worth it. That's enough.
Yeah. Yes.
So for the question of what what to do, where to start their healing journey, it is just to love them. First of all, love them, acknowledge them, connect them with some therapy, connect them with resources like what we're doing here. We would love offline. We're going to reach out to you, Sister Danielle. We would love to
Mhm.
work with you.
Absolutely.
Any other organizations, any groups, any opportunities where we can come and sit and share our stories, share our tools and our journeys. We are open to that. Please reach out to us.
Mhm.
Felicia's website has contact us. You can submit to her through
Mhm.
there. Um, we are excited. You are not bothering us. This is what we are here to do in this
Yeah.
season and this time.
Yeah.
And I would just share one other resource real quick. It's called Darcy. It's the Dallas Area Rape Crisis Center.
Mhm.
I have been doing work with them, therapy work with them. They are absolutely amazing on a large scale,
Mhm.
right? If you're looking for a government, not a government, but more like a funded nonprofit large scale that offers healing work in this area, they are therapists, they are certified, they are absolutely amazing. They have lots of resources. But thank you all so much for your questions. I
Yeah.
think someone else had a hand. And we want to respect your time.
Yeah.
Let's see. I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. If anybody else has a question, now's the time to come off mute and
Mhm.
say whatever you want to say, ask whatever questions you want to ask. We are here, we are open, we
Yeah.
receive you.
And while we do that and wait for that, I just want to reiterate
Come on,
going.
Sister Tiffany.
Come
Come
on.
on, Sister Tiffany.
Where's she at?
Oh no, I didn't want to cut Sister Felicia off.
No, no,
She.
go ahead. Go ahead. I was just gonna repeat something.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if you remember me, but you've done some work. We've done some work together. I've been to your home,
Yes.
and you've
Hi,
done some work.
Tiffany.
Hi. I just want to say thank you so much for this. My mind is blown. Like this has, and I referred a few other sisters to join, and they got on the line, which I'm thankful for them joining.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask, what you know, I just feel like so many of us need this, women and men, and I wanted to know, what would be some options, and I guess we could talk offline, but what would be some options as far as trying to just open this up to more of our women in our community and even men, like doing one specifically
Yes.
for men because they don't feel comfortable opening up, but a lot of our men have been sexually traumatized too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that's something I'll contact you one on one about. But awesome job. I mean, this was
Mm.
so beautiful. Thank you for your transparency. Thank you, Sister Anitra. And
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be praying for you all's continuous success and
Yeah.
broad reach because this is something in our community we need. Thank you.
Whew. You don't know how grateful I am to hear that. Because it's been a journey doing this, and I'm so grateful to be doing it. How I would answer that question is like we have to get the word out there and create space for people to come. And also for if there are groups out there who women who have groups who are in churches who know that this is happening, people can create their own small experience and we would come, teach, share, give insight, teach tools and techniques because we're open to doing that and going out to the people where they are, but then also creating experiences like this and also like the retreat in October. But we are open to if there are women who are part of groups, then make it known within your groups and we will meet you there. We will come, we will share. And the more we talk about this, then the more I believe other people will come out of the closet, so to speak, and be willing and open to do this work. I men as well. Women
Yes.
typically are the catalyst for change.
Yes.
When we get out here and not just say me too, but if we get out here and say me too, but this is what I do about it, opposed to blame, I take on responsibility to heal myself. When we start doing that and we do it through love and not through blame and shame, heal it, men will come out the closet because we will mirror to them to a degree and they will be able to do the support, but because of the barriers they already have within that the male species, they're not as prone to come out for that and to do that healing. I think it's going to start with us, and it's going to start with us not doing it in the dark but doing it in the light, healing in the light, and not having to do it, you know, ashamed. No, we are healing out here on purpose and loud. So definitely, Tiffany, you can reach out to me just personally, and if you want to plan something with a group, we are there. All right. Well, ladies, thank you so much. We do, well, like you said, Anisha said, respect your time. I hope you all can chime in tomorrow because Anisha is going to give us game, you all, on the power of healing through journaling. And then also check out the website at FeliciaGarrett.com. There's so much information that we have on the website. Just go to the website and click on retreats and then click on healing sexual trauma retreat for all of the details. And then also know that there is a payment plans that people can take advantage of too for the retreat in October. And you can start your process now, just to get that going if you're open to it. All right, ladies. Hope to see you all tomorrow. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Let me write that number down.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Sister Felicia and Sister Nitra. I just wanted to know, I have the website information. I just want to know, is there a contact, if a business contact number for you for like, personal like
Yeah.
mentoring, recruiting, and also if we do want to, like you said, get you with a group where I could contact you and speak with you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. You can my phone number, my contact phone
I'm
number and email is on the website.
Okay,
and
wonderful.
I'm
Yes,
adding my information in the chat real quick.
Yes.
thank you. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much.
You're
This was
welcome.
beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sister Felicia, Sister Anitra, this is Danielle. I left my
Uh-huh.
number in the chat for you all. We
Yes.
definitely I'll find a way to contact you. We have an annual How to Mend a Broken Heart conference in October 3rd. I
Mm.
would love for you all to come and be a special guest at the event for sure.
Oh,
Awesome.
awesome.
It'll be at the DeSoto Civic Center,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I would love for you all to join us.
All right.
Thank
We
you.
will reach out to
Absolutely.
you.
And
Absolutely. Thank you.
I'll share the flyer with you all once it gets complete. It should be done by the end of the week.
Okay. Awesome.
Yes,
Awesome.
Wonderful.
ma'am. Yes,
Thank
Wonderful.
ma'am.
you.
Wonderful. Thank
Thank
you.
you all. Yes, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye.
Let me
Let's see.
press.
Thank you all. I appreciate y'all.
Oh,
Felicia,
you're.
this Shaniqua.
Oh, hi.
Hey.
Girl, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
I'm
we
going to
have to
reach
catch
out to you
up.
guys.
Yeah, reach out to me.
Yes, immediately.
Okay. I'll do
Yes.
that.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.